Hi there, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am actually going to be responding to a few interview questions that I received, and I thought I would just videotape them so you can follow on that journey and kind of get a real inside look on what's being asked as my origin story. So follow along. The question is, are you a working actor? And I say, yes, I am a working actor anywhere. And the question is, how did you get started? My first audition was a failure. I had no idea what I was doing. A teacher at the junior high school I attended had me be her assistant for a girl who was auditioning for LaGuardia School for the Performing Arts in New York City. Some of you may actually know that as the high school from the movie Fame. Her audition piece was from The Diary of Anne Frank by Frances Goodrich. It started off, what a lovely, lovely, lovely day. I was so inspired to do this monologue myself after watching her and believing that I could do it better, that I wanted to apply to audition for the school as well. I memorized the monologue and found that I simply couldn't deliver that first line honestly, no matter what I did, even at that young age. Innocence was not in my brand or type wheelhouse. If only I'd known that then, right? So I went to the regular high school up the road from my apartment on 49th Street in Astoria, New York, and that is how the story of my acting career really begins. So here is actually the condensed version. I had a big mouth. I still have a big mouth. And because of that, the teacher asked me to audition for the high school play Enter Laughing because of my big mouth. I auditioned, I got a teeny tiny role as a stage manager, and that was great. That was a perfect entrance into the theater world for me, I think. And then about 2 weeks before the show opened, she actually had to fire the actor playing Marvin and asked me if I knew anyone who could fill that role. So I said I could play Marvin as a gender blind role, and we renamed the character Sam. And that was my freshman year, and a star was born. It was me. I went on to star in every school play after that. Then I went on to college, which was enforced. My father made us go to college, and I hated it. So I failed my first semester. So I told my father that if I had to go to college, I would like it to be an acting school. And so I got into the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, a very prestigious spot of 12 available, I think it was every semester. Anyway, I then moved on from there and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts from Franklin Pierce College and received a bunch of awards for acting and went home to New York City to start auditioning. And I auditioned for 5 things and landed 3 of them. And then September 11th came and ruined my life and the lives of many, 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 many people. So if that wasn't enough, after moving to Chicago and getting a call back to the Goodman, I had a family emergency that caused me to return to Dubuque, Iowa. And that's where my new friends and my mother's side of the family was. So I, dug my heels in, got married, had children, and then I buried my father and I buried my stepfather. And actually that was in the reverse order. But both of them died before my stepfather was not even 36 or 37, and my father had just turned 45, both way too young. I likely developed PTSD. I might have had PTSD before those events occurred, actually. Anyway, carried a whole bunch of emotional issues, and I was a new mom, and much to my sadness on recalling this fact, but I became a raging alcoholic. It's probably pretty typical for a lot of creative people or actors, artists, musicians, all that good stuff. Anyway, so the next question is, what did you want to accomplish? All I've ever wanted to be was an actor. Next question is, what internal struggle were you dealing with? Like I mentioned, alcoholism, desperation, sadness, deep, dark sadness, PTSD, very likely, just a life of traumatic experiences, and very likely postpartum depression, among other things, I'm sure. Probably others, just some stuff, a lot of things going on. Next question is, what was your biggest hurdle to pursuing an acting career? Okay, so if I'm being honest, it really was my mindset. My mindset was that I couldn't do it because of my area, the location where I live. And I would have to guess that a lot of people have that experience. I'm going to guess that I'm not the only actress in the world who started off life thinking I was going to be an actor, making a living acting or being a huge star. Those are the dreams that actors have. And essentially, I think what we do is we settle for being less than a huge star. But everybody who does anything who is driven wants to be wildly successful. And if you don't think that, or if you're not really believe that about yourself at this point, you're probably still trying to convince yourself that that's not what you wanted in the first place. But at any rate, my mindset was that I couldn't do it because of my location. I am about 3 hours from I'm 3 hours from a small market, if I'm being honest, and it's very difficult to get there. My agent wanted me to move there. I did. That was a huge mistake because I did it instantly. He was like, move to Chicago. I put things in my car, had almost no gas, and drove to Chicago and moved with my friend Matt. Thanks, Matt. That was awesome. But then I was broke and he had to feed me, and then he had to give me money to get back home because I was so broke and I couldn't figure it out and nobody was hiring. So that was brutal. Anyway, sure. That's part of the reality of a lot of actors' lives. And so mindset being the key to success, I didn't have the mindset to make it happen that way. Okay. And so the next question is, what changed? Well, the internet came along and gave me the power of research at my fingertips. I Googled production companies in Dubuque, Iowa, and then in the surrounding area, and I came up with Happy Smith Productions. And that part of the rest of history thing is something you'll kind of get to learn as we go along and as I share this journey with you in the hopes of helping other people get back to acting right where you are so that you can start fulfilling that dream again. But I knew that I had to change my mindset and ignore the idea that my location was stopping me from fulfilling my dreams, and that actually my mind was what was stopping me from fulfilling that dream of being a working actor. Next question is, what plan did you create to achieve your dreams? Okay, so I had always heard that acting was a business, but I didn't quite grasp what that meant. I did not understand it. And like most actors, I believe that if I lived in a location where I could just audition, my talents would shine through. I would eventually land roles. And then somebody sitting in some audience somewhere would scoop me up and deliver unto me my fame and fortune. That they would give me my big break. But what most actors who I've started to learn who have become wildly successful as actors know is that that their acting career is a business, hence show business, and that actors who run their businesses like they are the CEO of, Your Name in Big Lights here, is the only way to actually do it. That the other types of ways that people make it actually are unusual, and that you should not plan for unusual results. You should plan for executable results. But since I didn't know how to run a business at that time, I had to learn. So as I thought it through, it occurred to me that the only way people start businesses is with money. And I didn't have any. And I didn't have anybody to give me any. Nobody was going to just give me money to go be an actor. As a matter of fact, even people who have money, and nobody in my family does, don't give their kids money to go become actors. It's a very unusual thing, unless they're in the business themselves. So what I had to do was put my acting career on hold, which was very painful. And I did it for 5 years. And the end result that I achieved, which is one of the next questions, was that I got the money. Okay. What going and getting money does for an actor is creates confidence in something that was always something I desired to get as an actor. So I got it some other way. And it's just an interesting commentary quickly on what that means. But just being able to make money without, that $10 an hour lifestyle was very beneficial to my acting career. Most importantly, it taught me how to run a business. So I quickly rose to number one in the industry in which I went to work, which was selling cars. And then I got scooped up to become an insurance agent with a very good company, who taught me how to run a business, do marketing, develop relationships, and close a deal. And so that was highly effective. And what's wonderful about the fact that I have learned how to do all of these things outside of the acting business is that I now teach regular people who want to get back into acting how to do that without, joining the roves of people auditioning in LA, Chicago, Atlanta, and New York. You can start the part of the process that gets you back to being an actor and make a living doing it right in your own backyard. And so and actually what people do after they figure that out, you start building a resume that way. You start really gaining that confidence because, at a lot of the places folks are who are coming into this, when they finally come on, to learn about how I help them, is that they had already given it up as well. And so, it's like starting fresh, getting a new start at that acting career, that ever elusive acting career that you wanted to have when you were younger, or that you knew you were destined to have and sort of somehow slipped away from you, brings me to this last question that I've been asked, which is, how do you use that knowledge to be a working actor anywhere? I have restructured my entire message as an actor. And now I work more than ever. So I'm the one, I select the projects that I want to work on and the ones that I want to be a part of. And I help others get organized and become working actors themselves where they currently are in their journey. Living the life they're already living. I am lucky. I love my life. Every moment of every day, it's an amazing life. It is a gift. Oh, and of course I quit drinking in 2016. I think that's been a huge, if I could convince people to quit drinking, I would. I don't waste my time with that message. It's kind of fun. Anyway, thanks for stopping in and checking this out. And I hope to deliver some really excellent, just free information to anybody who's looking to get back into acting and start making a living acting anywhere. Please subscribe, share, tell your friends about it, leave me a 5-star review, all of the fun stuff so that you can help me get this message out there for those of the people out there who need it. All right, have a beautiful day.